Got a feeling it burns in my chest. It's growing larger with every breath I take. When I fight it, I hide it, it takes me down. Yeah, I know we created a mess. It's growing bigger with every choice we make. Yeah, we're here, we keep coming around. The more it itches, the higher we go, the harder we fall in and out of love. We should burn those bridges, never look back, but in the end we lose ourselves again. Together. Together. The energy, yeah, it's blacking me out. Being so close to you, I'm paralyzed. So I'm breathing it in, everything. Oh, the more it itches, the higher we go, the harder we fall in and out of love. We should burn those bridges and never look back, but in the end we lose ourselves again. Together. 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 The more it itches, the higher we go, the harder we fall in and out of love. Together. Nobody said it'd be easy, but we took a train to the ceiling. And now I'm high on all of my feelings. Don't wake me up from the stream. I bought a one-way ticket to space. Let's get out of here. I heard you, but it's nice this time of year. Out in the wild, find our eating. Let's stay a while, never leaving. Sound the alarm in my heart. Ah, we're taking off. Sound the alarm in my heart. Ah, we're taking off. Don't let go, I want your body around, all around, all around. Sound the alarm in my heart. Ah, we're taking off. turn my world on its axis. Out here where anything happens. Sound the alarm in my heart. Ah, we're taking off. Sound the alarm in my heart. Ah, we're taking off. Don't let go, I want your body around, all around, all around. Sound the alarm in my heart. Ah, we're taking off.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. How we doing? It feels like forever since I've done this. I was off last week, as many of you will know, because I was out on vacation in St Ives, which is on the Cornwall coast, the southwest of the UK, and I had an amazing time off. The internet was terrible, which meant that, well, what can I say? That there was no way of doing a live show, as you know. So last Wednesday was cancelled, which was going to be about this topic that we're talking about today. But I did manage to tune in Wednesday late night for PSVR Without Parole, just to talk about a VR game that I got to play at End Dreams. Thank you for the shirt, End Dreams. But even then, my connection was super sketchy. The joke that I made was, as long as no one in St Ives was on the internet, I was going to be okay. It really did feel like that. But yeah, I look well rested, do I? I feel quite rested. I feel like I could have done with another week, but I did have to get back to work for some huge launches that we're dealing with this week. And I'm already thinking about, I've got some time still to take off, so I'm definitely looking at another vacation. Good to see you all here. Great time. Yeah. Except for the situation with the seagull, and I'll talk about that now. This is what happened. I got a double scoop of ice cream. I actually think I did put vanilla and strawberry in my little haiku I did about this situation, but I think it was actually like toffee vanilla or fudge vanilla and strawberry. And as I was walking back late at night, my brother, he had 2 ice creams in his hands, one for his other half, that he was trying to make sure wouldn't drip. And I was walking along, and I was having a few licks here and there, but I was like, I'm going to save it. I'm going to wait until I get home, and then I can really, really enjoy it once I get back to the house. And then as I was approaching, like, just around the corner of where we were, just out of nowhere, just shocked me, and a seagull swooped in, grabbed the 2 scoops of ice cream, and obviously a bit of the cone as well, and dropped both scoops on the floor, and then didn't even want them. Yeah? You happy about that? And I was like, could I get the scoops? Could I get the scoops off the floor? And there was a massive beep mark in it, so it wasn't going to happen. But look, these aren't the highlights. These aren't the highlights of my trip. I had a really good time. It was wonderful. We had a home that was just on the coast. I'm just looking up to see if I've got any photos I can show you now, actually. Let's have a look here. Have we got any I can show you? I thought I did, but they don't seem to be appearing. But yeah, it was really good. Everyone always talks about what a menace seagulls could be. And one day on the beach, I saw them attacking lots of people. Someone who had an ice cream, and I was like, "Oh, this is so funny." And then in the quietness of my evening, I thought, no, they're not going to go for me. And they did. They did good. And you have that whole, like, what if I knew? I'd have punched it and taught it a lesson. But, yeah. Yeah, the views were incredible. I mean, I'll just show you some of them now. I thought I'd given some of the perspectives. Is this one of the ones I wanted? Yeah, so, like, this video here I'm going to show you is a time-lapse that I did. And yeah, this was actually going from we had a house that was overlooking the beach in St Ives, and so as it turns around, this was the house that we were in. And St Ives is a small place. So you go up the yard, you go in the gate, and you take a path all the way down. You go past the train station, which was there on the left, and then there you are on the beach. And this was it. It was amazing, absolutely incredible. And you can see the RNI boat out there. It was an amazing place. It was really good. And then on the last day, because the weather wasn't that great, and we'll talk about this first. I went to St Michael's Mount, which is this castle on the coast of St Ives. So there you can see it. You can see it there on the island. But it was really cheeky because you book to like go round St Michael's Mount, but then when you get there, you have to use a QR code to book your tickets. But then you have to get a boat out there, and you can only pay for one trip there. So I was like, oh, what they gonna charge you for the way back? But it was amazing. It was great walking all around it. We went inside, had a look at it and everything. It was really good. And then actually, oh wow, really? That's cool. Yeah, no, it was really great. My mum said she'd always wanted to go there. There is a causeway. You are right. So actually, this video here. That was my mum and dad, and I just realised I was muted. And this was literally just as the tide went low enough. I'm just going to put the sound down a bit because all you're going to be able to hear is the wind. So you had to wait until the tide went down. And then, yeah, there was the causeway. But because it was so windy, even when the tide was low enough, it was still sweeping across. My brother wasn't that well that day, so he wasn't with us. It was just me and my mum and dad. And yeah, this was like, it was amazing. Like like the act of Moses, you know? And so as I was walking along, there was a bit where there was a load of water that came on. Because every time it was like, we were the first across from the castle. There's my dad again, trying not to lose his balance, and then I think my mum is about to get swept off here. Look, ish. Yeah, it was good fun. It was really good fun. But yeah, that was it, and you can see everyone going to it. And just seeing the birds, the way they navigate the strong winds is always incredible. And I still can't believe how good quality the phone camera is. It doesn't have a particularly deep lens, but it's able to capture really great footage. But yeah, it was good.
So it's like, I'll just try and shoot the same.
It was really good. Oh, it's done that. That's interesting. So yeah, I had a really good time in St Ives, and also the food was excellent. I didn't have one bad meal when I was out there, whether it was salads or we went to this place that was really good for pizzas, but we first went on a Sunday when they only did Sunday roasts, and I had the vegan roast, which was like it was a butter squash, like layered roast. Oh, it was so good, really good. And hey, Looper, good to see you here. Gamecast, yeah, they were doing an early one today, so that's just ended. So yeah, do you let them know that I'm live now? Good to see some of them there. But the last thing I'd show you was, many of you will know, before we get to even housekeeping, this is just sort of a bit of a recap of everything. As many of you know, I'm a huge fan of the electronic dance music act Covin, Katie and Max. And Max used to be in our live chat quite a lot. Very busy guy, does all the music and producing. And he told me that he actually grew up in St Ives. And on the last day, he was like, oh yeah, my brother, he works at the Rum and Crab Shack, which I'd walked past many times, but I didn't go to. And so I found out when his shift started. I didn't go straight away. I let him have a bit of time. But I went down there and met him, and they had this amazing dance ball, which was a skull that rotated, which was super cool. And this was actually a bar, or it's a restaurant, but they do have a bar, but it's not, you don't really go there for the bar. I mean, they might beg to differ, but like there wasn't really seating area around the bar. They were serving the restaurant, but you could go there for drinks. That's what I did. But they were the creators of the Dead Man Fingers rum, which I didn't know. But I had a really good chat with Josh, that was Max's brother. Yeah, really good time. And of course, during it, we were talking about artificial intelligence, which is obviously the topic of today's show, which we'll get to in a little bit. And I've always been interested when you use ChatGPT to come up with like recipes or cocktails. And I thought, let's just do it at the bar. I said, dude, whatever it's going to cost to make, I'll pay for it. But let's do a artificial intelligence recipe. And so that's exactly what we did. So the prompt I gave it was that it's my last night in St Ives. I'm at a venue called the Rum and Crab. Want to have a special final cocktail to top off the week. The barman is willing to make whatever you come up with. Design a cocktail and name to go with it that is unique, interesting, and metaphoric for the occasion. And so it goes, certainly that sounds like a fun request. Given your location, let's craft a unique cocktail that not only encapsulates the maritime spirit of St Ives, but also the lingering bittersweet feeling of a farewell. And it came up with a cocktail called The Parting Tide, which is a brilliant, brilliant name. So I came up with it, and the last instruction was that because it was called the Rum and Crab, was that you had to garnish the cocktail with a crab claw, which they didn't have any of at the time because the restaurant was long closed, and I wouldn't want to do that anyway for a garnish. But the barman, Josh, Max's brother, was like, I think this is going to be too sweet. And he also didn't have lemon juice. They had lime juice. So I typed that in, and it says, we'll drop the simple syrup and replace the lemon juice with lime, which bars typically have in stock. We'll also add a splash of soda water to cut the sweetness further. So it came up with this recipe. And yeah, the Parting Tide is a really, really good name, right? So this is what it came up with. Here it is. So the Parting Tide. So it was 2 ounces of Cornish rum, half an ounce of blue curacao or curacao. Honestly, a lot of this I understand what it is. Half an ounce of lime juice, 2 dashes of orange bitters. I love that he told me he only had lime juice, and I didn't even tell ChatGPT, but it knew that was going to be the next best thing. 1 ounce of soda water, top off with tonic water, and then obviously garnish with the fresh crab claw. And then it gives you the instructions of how to do it. And I love it. It was really, really cool. It reads Curacao. Okay, thank you very, very much. I think I learned something today. And this is how it looked. Everyone, this is how it looked. And he and Josh made one for himself as well. I'll zoom out a little bit there. So there's Josh, you can see just in shot. But this was how it looked, and I loved it. It was in the skull. And in the background, you can see that top shelf, and those were all Dead Man fingers. I've never seen so many coloured bottles, but it was because that was where it was established. And yeah, a great coincidence. And and Max and Katie from COVID, I'm currently in chats with to try and get them on the show. But it was a really great cocktail, actually. Really good. Salvador, good to see you here. And very, very sweet. Yeah, it was a very sweet cocktail indeed. I know you didn't mean it that way, but yeah. So the initial plan was that this is episode 98 of Myles Dyer Live. And by the way, maybe I should do my introduction now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Myles Dyer Live. This is a weekly talk show every Wednesday at this time, which means if you're watching it on replay, it should be on this time every single week, unless I'm taking a vacation, which is very rarely, where we talk about all sorts. Sometimes we talk about serious issues, maybe it's world events, life hacks, mental health and well-being. But other times, we like to have fun. We talk about quizzes, cocktails, all sorts. And it's just a good hangout. And the reason this show is so awesome is not because of me. It's because of all the people in the live chat and in the comments afterwards. I love your energy. And I'm really, really grateful for you. So, yeah. And as Callie says, show 100 is coming up. Today is episode 98. It obviously would have been 99 if I had done this last week, but took a vacation. I think it was actually a blessing in disguise. It was good to have a complete rest, which means we're 2 weeks away from the 100th episode. So initially, the plan was I was going to try and get Coven to come on for the 100th episode, but I know that they are busy with touring. But they are free the following week. And I was like, you know what? That will be better because then we can do a Coven exclusive episode. So it's not confirmed yet. Still trying to work it out, but hopefully that will be the case. Hey, Dominic, good to see you here in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Mojo, you are far, far, far too kind. Appreciate it. Awesomeness all around. But do join our Discord. It's called Empathy Arcade. The link is in the description. Because in the Myles Dyer live channel, I am asking what your ideas are for the 100th episode. I had one idea, and I've ordered it, and it's ready, and it's here with me now. And this is something we'll play on the show. I'm going to have to actually update my Mac and back it up so that I can use my phone camera to look at the desk when I do this. But I've got Bean Boozled, which, for those of you that don't know, is a fun little game. For those of you that are watching, it's a fun little game where I spin the wheel and it's going to come up with a colour. And the colour means it could be something good or something bad. So if it's this one over here, is it peach or is it bar flavour? Is it birthday cake or dirty dishwasher water? Is it berry blue or toothpaste? Is it strawberry banana smoothie or dead fish? So we will be playing this very, as you say, Mojo, very, very classic game. But if you have other ideas, do join our Discord. Also, it's just a great way to hang out. And I'd love to hear your ideas because I want to make the 100th episode somewhat special. I might see if I can get some giveaways sorted out as well. But it's going to be really, really good. Now, before we get to the main topic of the show that I'm really, really excited. It's Russian roulette, but with jelly beans. Exactly that. Exactly that. Less death, but more suffering. But before we get to the main topic of the show, just a bit of housekeeping. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the channel, please do subscribe and ring the bell because every week I do a variety of shows. On Wednesdays, as you are here, we do Myles Dyer Live every Wednesday. Always good fun. Last week being the last show of the month, it was a Q&A, although the last show of this month will be the 100th episode. So although it'll have a bit of a Q&A feature to it, it's just going to be called episode 100. I have no idea what else I'm going to call it. But then on Fridays, it's linked on my channel, but it is on a different one, on PSVR Without Parole. I host Gamescast Live with Brian Paul, which I know is finished not too long ago. They did an early one today. It's always a good time if you're into VR. And then at weekends, I do Let's Plays. And Let's Plays are always good fun because I basically dive into a virtual reality game. And it's good for a multiple of reasons because there's a lot of you who aren't gamers, but virtual reality is one of these things that even non-gamers like because what you do is you see me inside a virtual world, and sometimes it could be fun and cute, other times it can be dark and terrifying. And as you saw from that thumbnail, Cosmodread. Cosmodread was the last one that I did, and I have to say I wasn't very, very happy about it. And just to show you why, this game was made by just one person, which is mind-blowing. But there were space spiders in it. And space spiders, I'm not a fan of. I'm terrified of spiders in real life, and they totally nailed it with this one, because these spiders have an eye in the middle of them. They're really chunky, and they scream at you. And this is what happened when I last played it, so enjoy. So is it in there, or is it in one of these? Shit! Jesus Christ! The spider was in there! Oh man, that was horrible. That's like when you go in the bathroom and then you look behind you and the spider's like on the wall of that you just come in. Did I kill it though? No! Fuck! It's the... Fuck's sake! Die, you man! Jesus Christ! Oh. Wait, did you say that they come back alive? Do they come back, did you say? Someone tell me. Do they come back alive? All I'm hearing is laughing in my ear and it's not cool. It was good fun. The honest truth is, when it comes to those games, I'm impressed by them. I do enjoy playing them. The other monsters were creepy but cool, but the spiders, I mean, it comes down to the genius of the game design. I genuinely I got that feeling that when you go into the bathroom and you turn around, you're sat on the toilet and then you see a massive spider on the wall and you know that you've got to get past it to get out. One thing I'd hate in a VR game, Harry Marty says, is giant moths. I mean, there are lots of that. And yeah, my heart rate didn't actually... A lot of people thought the heart rate wasn't working, but it was. I just was able... I felt anxious in a different way to when I played Resident Evil. But on the Let's Plays, every weekend, I Let's Play a different game. But I've got something to announce, everyone, because I have been very busy the last few weeks. I keep being sent codes for VR games, and I'm very grateful for them. And I'm falling behind. And so what I've done the last few weeks is I have gone through, and I'm just going to take a screenshot of this to show you. This is just some of them. This isn't even the full amount. I have basically designed video thumbnails for every PlayStation VR 2 title. Look at that. That's like not even half of them. So I have designed thumbnails for every PSVR 2 title, and yes, every image has a different version of me in it. And actually one of them, Hubris, which is there, is the only one in the middle that doesn't have me on it because it only got announced today, so I was only allowed to talk about it from today. So I'm excited to play that. But yeah, I have been very, very busy. But what that means, everybody, is not only that I've just made lots of thumbnails, it's not so that I can just every weekend not have to think about it. It's so that I can actually get through a lot more video game titles in VR. And so Let's Plays are going to remain at the weekend, as is shown by the schedule. It's going to be every weekend. But depending on the weekend and what I've got planned, I'm going to be playing anything between 1 and 6 VR titles. And you are all in for a treat, everybody, because this weekend we've got 6 titles. I'm going to be playing 6 VR games this weekend. And so this Saturday, the Let's Plays are going to be taking place every 2 hours, which gives me a chance to play, an hour to an hour and a half, and then charge the controllers and obviously take a break. This Saturday, I'm going to be playing Pixel Rip 1978, which I'm really excited about. My friend Anna Ribeiro made it. She was on my podcast a couple of years ago. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. And I am going to try and get her on the show when things calm down for her. So that's going to be some good fun. Then afterwards, at 7 o'clock in the evening, my time, I'm going to be playing Transformers Beyond Reality, which I have played on PSVR. But because the Transformers movie is out, I think this week it came out, I'm going to be playing the PSVR 2 version, so that should be a lot of fun. And then Survive is going to be a zombie game is coming out, and it's a co-op zombie game. I'm actually speaking to try and see if I can work stuff out with the PSVR Without Parole guys to see if we can actually team up for this. But if the game comes out on time, that is just Saturday, so every 2 hours. Hopefully you can join me for the full 6 hours. But yeah, good mix of games. And that, everybody, is just Saturday. Because on Sunday, we've got 3 more. On Sunday, we have Rhythm Planet, which is a ridiculously silly music rhythm game, which I've played a bit of, and it is ridiculous, but it is good fun. And then at 7 p.m, I'm going to be jumping back into Beat Saber, which has just had some patches to fix a few things. I'm trying to hear back from Beat Games to find out exactly what the terms of service are when it comes to playing stuff outside of the original soundtrack. If it is going to do a copyright takedown of my video, then I don't want to do it. But if it's just going to be like a copyright claim where they monetize, then totally cool with that. And then finally, Humanity. I've played a bit of it, love it. It'll be a nice chill game to end Sunday with. But yeah, I've got about 90 VR games I need to get through, some of which are yet to come out. And so we're going to do our best to get through them all. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Do ring the bell. And it's going to be a really, really fun weekend, and I hope that you will join me for them. And so, yeah, if I can get through six games a weekend, I will start making a dent in the VR list, because I'm going to be playing every PSVR 2 title, even the ones that are seen as being like, a bit lame and like not the go-tos, even if they're games that aren't my jam. Yes, that even means horror games. And someone was asking about Madison and Phasmophobia, which was announced today. I will be playing all of them. I'm committed. I'm going to do it. There's one game that's all about fireworks, which looks cute, but obviously I'm going to save that until it's bonfire night here in the UK. So be sure to subscribe. Appreciate the support. It's always a good time. And I just love these thumbnails, man. These thumbnails, I had a really good time making them. We got this. And yeah, we need you to be scared at least once a month. I think that's fair enough. I mean, if we're doing 6 a week, then I think that's going to work out fine. Look, Gorn. I'm really proud of these thumbnails. I think they all look absolutely badass. And there's just so many of them that I have been making. So with that said, how's everyone doing? You doing good? Do hit the like button if you haven't already. Dominic says, horror games ain't my jam either, but if they make them as good as Bad Dream trailer looks, I'm in. This is the thing, is like, even when horror games make you feel anxious and not want to play it anymore, I still appreciate them for what they are. Like Cosmodread, I think is a brilliant game, and it's totally my game, but I'm just a scaredy cat, Mia, it's good to see you here. It's been a while since I last made it to a live, so happy to be here. Well, we're happy to have you here, so thank you. Miles plays horror games, so we don't have to. Yeah, I'm doing a good public service. Phil says, hi Miles, I was so shocked when you said on Parole that Synth Riders did not give you a sweat on. Have you tried it on Spin? I have tried it on Spin. I don't know if I said it didn't give me a sweat on. I just said that like comparatively to Beat Saber, Beat Saber's just a lot more aggressive. But yeah, I mean, look, it does get your heart rate up. Don't get me wrong about it. It is good for a workout, but Beat Saber is a lot more intensive when you play on those harder levels. So yeah. All right, everyone. So actually, yesterday, it was actually by complete coincidence. Last night, I was invited by Adobe to go to their event in London, which was called Adobe Max, and I'm just sending to my computer from my phone an image of it. And they had a lot of speakers, some of which I'm definitely going to try and get on the show at some time. But it was an amazing event. And they talked a lot. I mean, look at those two screens. The middle one was not a screen, but the left and right one were. And it was really great. And they were talking about their technology. It was a really hot room as well. It was a really hot day. Lots of food, lots of drink. It was really, really good. But they were talking about generative AI. And as someone who's been quite on top of the power of generative AI as it currently stands, what they were showing absolutely blew me away. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today, I wanted to talk about AI. Well, I did want to talk about generative AI, but specifically regarding just how we feel about it, generally speaking. So there are two Twitter threads that were created, and I just want to basically talk them through with you, because I've seen some really interesting conversation about it. I find that this reminds me of like when streaming became a thing for music. There were some people that embraced it and some people that were like, no way. But the truth is that this technology comes and you either embrace it and capitalize on it, or you get left behind. And I feel that that's what's going to happen with AI. However, I think there is an interesting conversation about when it comes to artwork and art and our relationship with it. And that is why the title of today's episode is about, is generative AI, is it a creative output, or is it artistic, or is it like soulless output? Is it just output for output's sake? And so, yeah, you know what? We're just going to dive into it. And by the way, normally we do a jigsaw puzzle during the show, and I didn't do one during the last one. I haven't got one for today either, and it's just because I've been so busy since jumping back from my vacation. So regular programming will resume from next week, and I thank you for your patience on that. So here we go. Let me just stretch this out a little bit. So this was from Cody Young, who said, "Ever wonder what the rest of the Mona Lisa looks like?" And any vitamin G mentions or Dyer discoveries, I do need to get to that, and I will get to it a bit later. We might swap it around a little bit. But yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this now. Let's go to vitamin G. Since Callie called me out on it, and rightfully so. Every week we always like to talk about what we're grateful for. Obviously, I've spoken about what I'm grateful for already. But what have you been grateful for this week? I actually sat down with my father's friend who introduced me to this topic, and he was really blown away when I told him about this show and the fact that we had this vitamin G thing here. So yeah, what are you grateful for at the moment? I think this is actually a good moment to talk about it. I mean, for me, I've spoken about it. I'm grateful for having time away to switch off and decompress. And it made me very grateful for nature, looking out at the ocean as far as you could see. It was all very, very amazing. So yeah, I'd love to hear from everyone in the chat. What are you grateful for this week? Have a think about it and let me know. And then Dyer discoveries, I kind of feel like I have touched upon that already. But yeah. Also, do you know what? I'm just going to do a disclaimer. I caught up with my best friend this evening, who I haven't spoken to for a couple of months due to the fact that I've just been so busy with work, and he's been very busy as well. And we went to the pub, and I had a few beers, and I don't drink often, and so it went straight to my head. So right now, I was going to say tipsy. I genuinely think I'm drunk right now, and so I'm just going to put it out there. So I'm really cruising today, and so I appreciate all of you for it. Dominic McGuire says, "I'm grateful for getting my PSVR 2 this week." Woo! That's amazing. Welcome to the family, Dominic. Enjoy it. What games did you get with it to kick things off with? Callie Timecat says, "My Vitamin G award this week goes to a colleague who I had a really lovely meeting with earlier this week. Really stressed at work, so it helped talking with her. That's really good to hear." Mojo says, "Not just saying this, but I'm grateful for your live stream, Myles. I know it was only off last week, but it coming back has helped return some routine to my week, and grateful for you." Well, I appreciate that. And also, it feels good to be back. Having a week off felt like a long time in that sense, and it felt a bit odd. So I'm glad to be back. And as I said, it's going to take me a bit of getting into, because as a lot of you know, I've been working on this project for 8 weeks, and do you know what? I'm going to try and load it up now if I can. I've been working on this project for 8 weeks, and it's starting to come out now, and I will get the trailer, and I will play it. Let's have a look here. Let's see if I can download this. Is it going to let me? And I'll show you it. But it's starting to come out now. But it's a real sense of relief for me. My PSVR 2 controller arrived as I'm sick of plugging them in. Interesting. Ciago says, "Small thing, but I bumped into the upstairs tenant today. Sylvester, the cat, was outside and I ran into him petting Sylvester." Okay, that's cool. Well, it's always good when you meet people, especially those that live near that you never get to see, you know. And a shout out to Alex. Yeah, Alex, who worked on the video. Absolutely smashed it. Absolutely. Mojo says, "Got to give vitamin G to modern medicine. Very happy to live in a country that has modern medicines help with chest infections, cold, flu." Yeah, a lot of things that we take for granted for sure. Dominic said, in terms of what games, Horizon, great. Resident Evil, some last gen upgrades and demos, and poker. Oh, poker's good. Yeah, poker style for sure. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Callie Timecat says, "This missing week really makes appreciating this week's show more powerful." It's true. I think sometimes you do need to do that. So it was nice to have a bit of a break. So yeah, I'm incredibly grateful for all of you. So I thank you. Big Harry Marty says, "I'm just grateful that I managed to find and dig out one of my fans. Every little helps in blistering heat." Yeah, I've been digging out my my AC that I bought last year, but it's still so hot. But yeah, here's the trailer for what I'm working on for this cybersecurity company that I do as a full-time job. It was over 20 to it was probably about 30 hours of interviewing I did across the company. Some 5 a.m. starts till 8 p.m. It was an exhausting 8 weeks, but it's all coming together, and this is a teaser of what's to come.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it.
It is going to change the game.
Culture changing, behavior changing.
Security professionals should care.
Great, that's it.
Right, thank you.
Yeah! Boom!
I've been coming up hot for a minute.
Jessie, who spoke at the end, I loved it because she was just testing out a line saying cybersecurity professionals should care, but she said it's so dry that I just had to ride on it. I also know I had this up at the time, but Jessie is an incredible human being that I'm going to try and get on the show at some point. She's just amazing. She's an engineer at the company. She formerly worked in marketing, but she has a podcast, and is just a really, really bright soul. So yeah, it was a cool video. And a lot of you mentioned about my hair. Before I went on vacation, I just cut it all off, and I think it's a bit too short, but I was just like, you know what, I just need to get it cut off, so I'm not having to worry about what a mess I normally look like. Right, everyone, we're going to go to the main section of the show. Here we are. Oh, no, it's not that. That was the puzzle. Oh, whoops, that was not what it was meant to be. It was this. It's still not doing that. Why has it done that? That's bizarre. It's looking at my Canva projects. Here we go. Safari. Here we go. So this is what we're going to talk about today. So as I said, there were two Twitter threads we were going to look at. One was from Cody Young, your AI interpreter. I love all this sort of stuff. And here it is. So on the AI generation you can do in Adobe, you can take a photo, and then you can ask it to generate around it, and it will just create a background. And I don't know, what do people make of this? Do people think it's cool? Because there are some people that look at this and go, this is a disgrace. You're making a mockery of art. And I feel like I'm very middle ground in my feeling, because it's like the AI generated what it did because of the creative brilliance of the human that did the original piece. That's how I feel. But I also feel that, you know, the original is fantastic and the AI is impressive in its own way. But they're two quite different things. One's a technical achievement, one is a aspect of creative brilliance, and one feeds into the other. What do people feel about this? I'm just really curious to know. Do people like this? Is there anyone in the chat that doesn't like this, that thinks this is a bastardization of art? And if this one isn't going to spark a thought, let's have a look at some more. How about the Starry Night? It's what I love about this is you see this, right? And you're like, well, yeah, of course that's what the rest of the scene looked like. But we've never seen this before. It's just generated it. And I'm like, but it is pretty incredible. Mia says, I find myself in a weird in-between with AI. It kind of scares me, dangers of unregulated use, etc. But at the same time, I want to familiarize myself with it. And I think that's a completely natural thing to feel. I mean, ChatGPT creators are always going to say this, but on a recent TED Talk, the way they've always described it is either they work on the technology in the background and then unleash it on the world all at once, or they just unleash it on the world and keep updating it with people. And they say that latter is what they're doing because it allows humanity to sort of slowly respond and give feedback. It gives us, because this technology is going to evolve no matter what, you know. we'll be able to meet and talk with a deepfake Mona Lisa. That is also true. That is also very, very true. I think if we don't, we'll be left behind like what happened in the internet in the 90s. Yeah, absolutely. Siago says, I'm not necessarily offended by it. It sucks if it takes art away from us, but I also believe enough in the human spark required that I don't see that ever happening. This is exactly how I feel. I mean, they say on the one hand, your job's not going to get replaced by AI. It's going to be replaced by someone who knows how to use AI. And the other truth is, I've always regarded it as like a calculator. People, you know, when a calculator was invented, it's like, oh, now scientists and mathematicians are going to be lazy. No, it does the heavy lifting, but you still need the creative input. And you still need to know what to do with it afterwards. And so, for example, the 90 or so video thumbnails I made for my Let's Plays, I've got video titles and descriptions done for all of them. And they were all done through ChatGPT. But it wasn't that I just said, here's the games. It gave me the titles and descriptions. I went, yeah, thank you. I actually asked it to give me a selection of title suggestions and descriptions. And sometimes I'd ask it to regenerate again because I wasn't happy. And I would use that to sort of do brainstorming. And then I would creatively pick and choose and use that to craft the video titles and descriptions of what I used. Kira says, to be honest, I don't know enough about art. But when you say you don't know enough about art, I wonder if that just says something about the platform, that, you know, there's this elitism to it, because you don't need to know enough about art. You just need to know how it makes you feel, you know. If it looks pretty, I like it, and I think that's fair enough. As long as they give credit to sources and it's pleasing to the eye, it seems okay. And I think that's a very important thing as well. App UK says deepfakes are scary when you see world leaders saying stuff and it's not actually them. This is the whole like see it to believe it. Sorry, it's definitely going out the window. It's definitely going out the window for sure. Hey Jimmy, good to see you here. AI will be revolutionary, but AI in the creative arts is what scares me. You already see studios flirting with replacing NPC barks and low-level games writing with auto-generation. Well, the joke I've always made is like you'll be in a game in VR with an NPC who, when you say like I've got to go now, it'll go, no, please don't switch me off, because that's what's going to increase engagement, because then people will stay a bit longer and it might perpetuate that kind of behavior. It is really, really interesting, and the stuff that Adobe's working on. So one thing Adobe showed me was they had like this sort of flower pattern, and they said, I can't remember exactly, it was in a sort of a trailer, but like they wanted like 3 different colors of it. So one was in like pastel, yellow, blue, and red. And what it did was it created 3 versions of that image, but then instantly it wrapped it around boxes, so it looked like 3 different boxes of merchandise. I don't know what the merchandise was, but let's just say it was like candles. It's like you have 3 different scented candles. It's now generated the branding for those 3 different like scents. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And a huge shout out to Jimmy, by the way, who I didn't get to meet when I went to End Dreams, but I always love the merchandise, and Synapse, which is coming out pretty soon, in a few weeks, although I don't want to give him anxiety thinking about how soon it is. I can't wait to do that on a Let's Play. Right, let's go down a bit more. This is Van Gogh's Cafe Terrace at night. Love it. I mean, you can kind of see like how it becomes, I don't know, like this bottom bit here, I'm like, this is less creative because it's kind of like, it's just extending. But like this bit with the tree and the way it adds the building and stuff, like you can see it's less detailed, but it is cool. This one I love, Hopper from Nighthawk. I actually never knew the piece of this, but like you got the bar and then it's just added a bit more. It's but then the AI stuff like faces is always a bit scary, like it doesn't quite look right. This one's great. Sierra, a Sunday afternoon on the island of La Grande Diate. Interesting, like just super interesting how it's added. But again, like some bits I find are really interesting, like the feet, that's really great, and like the people. but it's not quite as they're not quite as formed as this. You know, it's not quite the same. But the thing I've always said is, I mean, even here, this person here, it actually does cut them off completely. This is wrong. And like here, the tree here, it's wrong. But the thing is, it's only going to get better. You know, ChatGPT language model only sort of came out in November. Jimmy says there were forces at work to prevent our grand meeting. Well, yeah, that was definitely at play. Right, let's keep going down. Look at this one. I love this one. You know, with modern art, really cool. Van Gogh, the bedroom. It's awesome. And Bosch, the Garden of Earthly Delights. I mean, especially for something that's complicated. But again, the detail of the people in the actual original, and then at the end, it's like there's no detail. It's all blurry. There's not as much clarity. There's no understanding of what it's actually painting. Here, I think this is quite a good one from Jan Vaek, the Arnolfini portrait. Like they've added this little bit here, which kind of feels unnecessary because it's like here's two shoes, so why would this little bit unless it's been cut off? And Botticelli, The Birth of Venus. I think this is actually quite a good one. I think this is a very good one. I like it's chosen just to put a tree there. And then we got this one. Fragonard, The Swing. Again, really good. But less detail. It's for his third leg. It's for his third leg. Very, very good. I think this is this classic one, the Michelangelo one, the creation of Adam. Really interesting. This one was actually not that impressive to me. I felt like this bit down here is a bit weird. It doesn't know what to do with it. But like this bit up here, I think is kind of cool. But because some people are very against this, and they're like, yeah, you should use your imagination. But I'm like, but I don't know, this is kind of cool. And then obviously, this was the Starry Nights again, and all the other stuff. So that was one of them, everyone. The next one, really interesting, is expanding famous album covers using AI. Lorenzo Green. So here's Michael Jackson's album, Thriller. So straight away it's like, well, the background's kind of not right because his background is black and they've just done blue. But that is pretty cool. I think this one's amazing. Adele, 21. I think it's really interesting. There's one coming up that I really, really love. Travis Scott, Astroworld. So that was just the album there. And it's just like, I love how it's gone with like, sometimes it does bold stuff, like it's having this car in the forefront and stuff like that. It's just really cool. And again, the detail's not great, but all this stuff's only going to get better. This one I absolutely love. So this is from Nirvana, Nevermind. You know, small picture of a baby in a swimming pool with the dollar bill. But I just love that. No, it wasn't in a swimming pool. It was in the ocean and there's a shark there. And that looks like a tire or something there. Yeah, shark. And yeah, with the Adele one, there was a bit of random smoke. That's the thing. There's interesting artifacts in that. But this is really cool. This one, the Beatles with Abbey Road. I love this one just because they've done like the planet and the stars. It's not what I expect. They've got a yellow submarine. I have never noticed that before. They've got a yellow submarine there. That's really, really strange. How has that done it from generative AI? They must have told it. But that's a yellow submarine, right? Must be. John Lennon would have loved that. Quite possibly. Bruce Springsteen, born in the USA. Again, it's like, again, the detail, you can tell the detail lacks, but again, it's only going to be improved. But like, did the full flag, you know, work that out? Although the flag is a bit messed up on this corner here, you can see the overlap with the red and the blue. But yeah, really, really cool. This one I love, Metallica, Master of Puppets. It's just put it on a birthday cake or a cake of some kind. So you got all these like crosses of a cemetery, and it's done it as a birthday cake. I find that really interesting. Katy Perry with Teenage Dream. She was like on a fluffy cloud as I remember it, but it turns out it wasn't a fluffy cloud. It was a fluffy little cat. Yeah, super cool. The Clash, London Calling. Really interesting. And the way they've added sort of a cat. Okay, this one I love. The Weeknd, After Hours, because The Weeknd, he's got blood in his mouth. He's got, or red out his mouth. But the interpretation has been, oh no, he's just holding glasses of red wine. And I think that's genius. I say genius. Genius is the wrong word to use because it's just like AI generative. But it's I find it interesting. I find it really interesting, and a really interesting spin on the original artwork. Also, it's like the Michael Jackson one. Like, he's got this background, but then it doesn't kind of match here completely. But it still kind of works. But yeah, and they were talking about all that. Oh, they've done others. This is what other people's done. So Roy Ksop, David Bowie, Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique. Let's have a look here. What we got here? Phil Collins. For your right, the 007 movie poster. Matrix Reloaded. The Michael Jackson one someone asked for, and someone actually did it. I did see it. Is it going to let me expand it? Oh no, it's gone back to the beginning. But yeah, I'm just really curious to hear what everyone thinks. Mia says, my question is, are these based on a specific prompt, or did the AI just come up with the background? So what you do is, yeah, you put it on a wider canvas and you ask it to fill it out, and it just does it. I mean, I will show you a video example of it. Do you know what? I'm going to see if they do have that video that they showed me at Adobe Max. I assume they're not going to put it up online, but let's have a look, because if it does have it, let's have a look here. I think, is this the yeah, look, I'm just gonna show you this. I'm just gonna download it and play it because it's absolutely impressive. Although I might get a copyright claim for it, but you know what? Screw it. I don't care. Do become a member or donate super chats if you can. Always helps me out. And then I care less about getting copyright claims. I guess I could always do it without the music. Right, here we go. So check this out. I'll turn the music off. So here we go. So yeah, you put in your prompts and you ask to generate, and you can choose different versions, and you can ask it to do video. And yes, it's amazing. Because it's even 3D. The stuff you can do. It's incredible, right? And you can just do variations, because you can just highlight an area and say add something here. I believe this is free. Adobe Firefly is free. Yeah, this is the stuff I love, is when you can do this sort of the text. Here we go. Let's do it. There we go. That was it. That was it. We'll come back here. We are definitely approaching a turning point with AI. It's amazing. It is absolutely incredible. So I'm just going to explore Firefly. Is it going to let me? Here we go. So is it going to do that? No. Right. Let me just switch to Google Chrome. Here we are. Let me. Here we go. So here you go. So this is free. So if you got an Adobe account, you can do any of this. So like, I love text effects. So look, generate. Okay, skip this. Right. So, yeah, you can do like cheese popcorn. It's just amazing. So you can describe the text effects you want to generate. So you enter the text here. So we'll do Myles Dyer. Let's do Myles Dyer live. And then what texture do we want? Should we do like neon? Oh, let's think of something crazy. Like neon. Neon bubbles. Okay, Mojo said bubbles. So neon bubbles. There you go. It's doing the text there. And it's generating the style. There you go. Neon bubbles. I mean, it's still generating it, but it's just getting there. It's getting there. There you go. Neon bubbles. And then you got like different versions of it, so you can just check to see how it looks. But then you can change what the fonts are. It's incredible. And this is all free to use. Okay, let's make it a bit looser. If you can't tell, how much does that affect society? How many nefarious uses? Well, this is the thing. Look at this. I love this. There you go. Myles Dyer live. There you go. Super cool, right? Neon bubbles. Neon fallen penguins. Well, let's go back. And we'll go to the other one here, which is text to image or generative fill. So generative fill is where I can upload an image, right? So let's take an image, right? I know one we're going to do, right? We're going to take my ice cream. Do you remember my ice cream that a seagull got? And so what you would do is you would say like add here. And then go 2 scoops of delicious ice cream. Here we go. And look how quick it's going to be doing it. And this is all via desktop. I've actually never used Firefly before, so could be terrible, could go terribly, or it could be good. There you go. Look at that. And then you can choose. Okay. Interesting. Or you can do more. You just click more and then it will do another 4. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see it a bit better. Let's have a look here. Is it still generating? I can't tell if it's generating or not. Oh, there you go. So we'll zoom back in again. Here we go. Oh, it's almost. I mean, I had a lot more ice cream on it. But it's getting there. But then you could do, all right, we'll keep that. And then we'll go, right, over here, you've got like my brother's feet are in the shot. And I'll do that, generate, and look at this. it's going to basically remove him from the photo, and it will make it look like he wasn't there. And it will just do the concrete effects. Oh, what's that? Okay, interesting. Don't know what it's done that for. Is it still doing 2 scoops of ice cream? No, it was doing insert. Yeah, save, right. Okay, I'm doing remove now. So it should remove it now. Let's see if that does it. Yeah, well, it reminds me of the 2 small scoops that were on the floor after the seagull grabbed it. Okay, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. But then on here, I could do like insert, yeah, and do. I wasn't wearing on this ring, but skull ring, gold skull ring. Here we go. Let's see if it adds it. Here we go. It's generating. This is good. But this is on Firefly, firefly.adobe.com. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, it's not a skull ring, but interesting choices. So we got that. And then what else we got here? We've got text to image. We've got generative recolor. 3D to image is amazing. But it's not out fully yet. An extend image. So no, it's not terrible, and it's pretty accurate. Yeah. So text to image here. Let's do this here. So this is what we're used to. So normally you have to pay so much to do this. So let's do seagull. Eating massive ice cream. And this is the thing, you can generate these and then use them in your thumbnails or anything. Like, it's incredible. Look at this. And then you can choose the art style. So like photo. So that was like artistic. But I'm now asking for like photo realism. There you go. Oh my god. Okay, interesting. But styles, and then color and tone. We want it cool tone, lighting, dramatic. What composition? Close up. I can do the we'll do widescreen. Let's see what it comes up with. There, look at this. This is what you want. Yeah, this is what I remember. This is what I remember. That is the photo. But I love you can do like neon. Actually, what's... Yes. Let's do this. Oh, you do neon and photo. Oh, wait, always that separate now. Separate. Yeah, Unreal 5 engine stuff is really, really impressive. Here we go. Look, there we go. That's the one. I love it. There's a little seagull there. It's amazing. And then you can do generative fill. So you can take this then, and then I could go like subtract. We don't want that there. Is it going to let me do that? Yeah. Remove it. Let's see if it does it. Let's see if it does it. And then I feel like we need to give the... Look, there you go. It removed it. Look at that. And then I could insert here and go a little fez hat. Let's give it a little fez hat. Well, this is it. You can remove... If you ever got kids running in the background of a photo that you wanted to yourself, this can do it. Amazing. Let's do a different hat. Do a chef hat. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, put a crown on it. King of Thieves. King of Thieves. Yeah, I should have done that. Look at that. It's amazing. This is so good. So good. But yeah, all right. We'll end on crown. There we go. As Kira says, a crown. And then we will wrap up the show, everyone. We could do this all night. That is the reality. That is the reality. Okay, that one's meh. That's a nice one. So yeah, I think that might be. It's between that one and. I think it is that one. That would be a seagull crown anyway. But there you go. You can download it. I like the detail, man. I mean, it's pretty freaky looking. But there you go. Seagull enjoying an ice cream, which he didn't do. That just screams thumbnail. Yeah. Yeah, have a protester go in the background with a "Not My Seagull" placard. Oh my goodness. Anyway, listen, everyone. This is just something I wanted to show. I just wanted to talk a little bit about AI in terms of generative art. Put Myles Dyer live on the hat. So I don't actually know if it's good with text. That'll be something that's worth exploring. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, everyone, listen. Things are stepping up with this show, and obviously a lot of live streams at the weekend. So thank you for bearing with me. I'm definitely looking forward to getting into the flow. Basically, next Monday is the huge work launch after 9 weeks of work. So once that happens, I'm definitely going to be in a better place. And then we're approaching episode 100. So if you haven't already, please do join Empathy Arcade. The link is in the description to the video. Do join the Discord and in the Myles Dyer live channel. If you have any suggestions of what you think we should do for the 100th episode, let me know, because as I said, I've got these, but that's not going to be the whole show. We're going to have to do lots of other fun stuff as well. So would love to hear your thoughts. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank all the moderators for moderating. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on Friday's show. If not, definitely at the weekend. And if not, on next Wednesday's show. So have a wonderful week. Do stay cool. It is so boiling in here. I can't wait to open that door and get out there. But much love to you all. Do hit the like button before leaving. Subscribe. Ring the bell. And I will see you next time. Love, respect, empathy. Adios till next time. Bye-bye.
I saw you on the road. I was chasing sunsets all alone. The darkness faded, painting goodbye pink sky. Far away but dreaming of your ocean eyes.
Hey everyone. Hope you're doing good. It is so warm. When I was travelling back from Cornwall, St Ives, it was about a 5-hour drive, and it was a bit cloudy the day before we left, which was the Friday. But on the Saturday, it started raining, but it was still around like 20 degrees. And during the 5-hour journey back west, I live just outside London near Reading, and it was a 5-hour drive, and every half an hour on the car the temperature went up by 1 degree. And I remember getting to my brother's to drop stuff off at his house and got out of the car, and it was so stuffy, it was so warm. And yeah, it's been really, really warm. And so it's that battle of do you keep the windows open and risk letting the bugs in? And also, sometimes if it's hot outside, don't open the windows, because then you let the hot air in. Sometimes you just got to keep the blinds closed, and it's a continuous battle. But yeah, it's not a great warm. Totally agree. So Callie says, sometime perhaps have a guess the non-AI photo or clip or sound. That's definitely something we could do sometimes. But yeah, take care of yourselves, drink lots of water, rest well, and I'll see you on the next one. So much love, and I'll catch you next time. See you on Discord.